Hi guys, my name is Means. This is going to be a review for the MonsterArts. We have the Ultimate Burning Godzilla based off the 95 movie. Here we go. Now this is somewhat of a recolor since we already have a release of the Burning Godzilla. But they've made a couple of changes as well as this effect parts, which is quite cool. I do love my effect parts. This is also a P-Banda. It comes with this brown super box up here. I'll take this out. I got mine from Tatsu Hobby. It's a special order. I'll provide an inquiry down below if you're looking to get one. And here's the box art. You know, despite being a P-Banda, it's nice they have a colored box. So, I mean, if you look at the kits or some figures, you have this monochrome colored box for exclusives. There we go. So for this one, now we see that all the way now it's orange. And actually there is a certain glow to it. Like, they made it super glossy. And I think that's pretty much it for the box. Now this is a P-Banda. It's gonna cost over $100. It's gonna be expensive basically. Anyways, that's it for the box. Let's take a look inside. Alright, so we have the two side by side. Again, the first release Burning Godzilla is over here on the left. And now we have the Ultimate Burning Godzilla here on the right. And so basically it's the same mold. You're also gonna get the same pair of hands, the extra ones that you can swap out. This one is just a little bit more open. I'm not gonna swap it out. I think I've swapped it out with my older version here. Now let's talk about differences. And the first thing you'll notice is the super gloss. Probably it's a bit more noticeable here. You can see a lot of the light bouncing off the surface of the figure as opposed to the old one here. Yep, it's a lot brighter. It feels like the Godzilla is very oily. For that high gloss. On top of that, looking at actually, let's see here. In terms of the markings, it's very much spot on. It's the same areas. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Now for the dorsal fin, it's like that too, but as opposed to having the white segments, now the whole thing is orange. Although there are a few things that are a bit different. We have these clear parts here, which was the original, but towards the end here, instead of making them clear parts, well, they were white before, they just had to add orange on top of that. It kind of breaks the illusion, especially down here. I really like where you have the clear parts here on the top. It would be nice if it goes all the way to the back, but I see why they didn't. It's gonna be a new mold, and that costs more money to make. You know, might as well just use the existing mold. It's a lot cheaper that way. But it's not too bad. I mean, from afar, it's not too bad. Until you start looking at it closer, it's gonna look a little odd. Yeah. But other than that, in terms of, let's see, the face here. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Even with the eyes, you have the orange eyes right there. And I'll do a closer up look. I did the same way also. It's just that the nails even here has that gloss finish, so it's a little different from the old style. Yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the difference. Let's take a closer look at the Ultimate Burning Godzilla. Alright, so a little close up here. Now for the eyes, I usually have an issue with having them a bit skewed, or lazy eye syndrome. This one is actually good. It's facing forward, and similar with the other Burning Godzilla, I have no issues there. Now, again, that's super glossy. Right, so articulation wise, actually might as well start with the head here. You can move the mouth down. I don't think you can move the tongue separately. It looks like it's part of the lower jaw there, but definitely you can move it up and down. Paint wise, in terms of the teeth, the gums, it's not too bad. Although some of the gums here could have used a little bit more of that off-white color for the teeth. Yeah, but overall, it's not too bad. You get the neck articulation here. It's basically the same mold, so articulation-wise, it's the same. But might as well go over it. You can rotate this around, I believe. Although it is one of the older molds, and articulation is a bit limited. But you can move it around. Some of the joints you just gotta really force it or exercise it, but you know there are limitations. You don't force it too far enough that it will break. You got your bicep swivel there, you got your elbow, you got your wrist joint. This actually, I think the wrist joint kind of extends a little bit. The older one I have had a little bit of a gap, but now we got the torso here. Now there is going to be some gap there, as you can see, but that's just gotta move the joint around for the waist. You can move this around here, up and down. So that's joint there is a little bit tight. You get your knee joint, and then you got your ankle. You can move it side to side, which is great. Then on the tail, got all of this segments. So it's the usual formula. I think two segments are connected together, then you have a sleeve in the middle. There we go. Goes all the way till this segment here. I think that is the last joint right there. Everything else here is fixed. No, it's not too bad. Now, they've got obviously the later release MonsterArts are a lot better than this, but when it was released, it was really good. I like this mold a lot. In terms of the Burning Godzilla or the Rebirth, this is my favorite before. Now it's a little different. I like the 2001 version now, as well as the other ones that just came up recently. Yeah, even the Kyoko version 1. Kyoko. The 1989 version, which is the big with all the sounds that light up. That is really good. And kind of curious if they're gonna make more of that version. Although, not sure if the sales was good on that part. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the quick overview for this. And let's go over the effect parts. Alright, so I have some instructions here. Basically, we get two on his right side, and one on his left arm, and one on around his neck. Alright, so why don't we start with the leg here. So it seems like we're gonna extend out the legs and the arms, and able to hook that extra part there. I think the first one is this one here. Move this down, so we're just gonna have that little gap there and attach it on. So yes, get it to the space where you have enough. There we go. That's a fairly good gap right there. All right, and this just kind of cradles around that leg. Actually, there is a kind of a bit of a crevice here, or the crease. It's probably a good place to rest it on. There we go. Next part is the arm. So this is the next piece. Kind of looks like an M here. Likewise, you have a hook. We're just gonna wiggle this, get that gap somehow. Yeah. Yeah, I was doing the articulation before, and I don't think I get much gap on this arm here. And this is a bit loose here in the bicep, so I'm having a little bit of a hard time getting this to move. I have to loosen that first. Alright, so here we go. This is probably one way to do it. Definitely there's probably a better way, but Here we go. So what you want to do is kind of wiggle this about till you get enough or a little bit of gap there. Now that's not big enough, and I'll be using a screwdriver, a flathead. Be careful when you do this. I would suggest a wooden stick, but that'll probably break. So I'm using a screwdriver, and just be careful. Now you kind of have to pry it in. Oop, that's bad. And yeah, take your time. Now that's probably a good gap right there. Yep. All right. Grab the piece right here. Now this is supposed to hook up right there, and yeah, I'll try to get it. Yeah, using your fingers is not gonna work. So again, I'm trying to open this. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, the hard part is just trying to get it on. Maybe put. The problem is if you hook it down like this, like the leg, you have to rotate it. So I'm trying to just get it in there somehow. And actually the other problem is trying to get the arm here. So we can probably just force these two prongs outward. Yep, so that's the next part. And you know, for the most part, I think we got it. So there we go. It kind of just drapes onto the shoulder. They could have probably done a better way to do that. But it's secure. That's what the hooks are for. It's to make sure it's secure. It's not gonna fall off or anything. It's just a bit troublesome to put on the first time. Alright, moving on. The easy ones. Here's the other one. It just kind of just sleeves over the forearm here. Best way, just put it on the wrist and just slide it back. There we go. Lastly, we have this. This just goes over the neck. And there we go. We have the effect parts on. To be honest, it's not as great as I thought it would be. And then, you know, this effect part, you can kind of use other things to recreate this. You can use cotton balls or tissue paper or whatnot, or other things. But it's nice to have this effect part. Just it's built for it. That's the thing. And it's consistent. Every time you put it on, you're gonna have that effect that you wanted it to be. So yeah, you know, not too bad. And more than likely, you can use this on the older bird in Godzilla. But there we go. And I think that's about it. Actually, I don't think I've went over the dorsal fin here in terms of the articulation, but you know, it's very much the same. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it for the review. Overall, I like it. It's not too bad, but over time, as more SH MonsterArts is released, that's my preference. This was my favorite one. Yeah, well, part of it is having orange. Orange is my favorite color. But at that time, the articulation, the burning Godzilla, it's the best one on that era, I guess. But as more of them are released, I really like the 2001 version. And not to mention the latest one, the 1989. And I'm kind of curious if they're going to make more of that version. It would be cool. It's a bit bigger, more expensive, but definitely well, in terms of Godzilla, the bigger figure is always better. But anyways, I think that's about it. Again, I got mine from Tatsu Hobby. It is a special order. It's P Bandai. But you know, in terms of P Bandai, you can always send an inquiry if you want to order one from them. So there you go. I do have the Ava version. I will review I'll review that one after this one. And there you go. So that's pretty much it. So until then, this is Meats. Thanks for watching.